Okay, I have more questions for you, but our time has come to our Q&A. So we are going to have fellow interns hop on here, Claire and Rachel, and they've been monitoring the chat on our Facebook page and on the Real STL News. Claire and Rachel, come on down. Tell us what questions you have from our listening audience.
Yeah, absolutely. We have two on the Justice Beat Facebook. So the first one that came in is, what were the specific steps you took to start Flickshop? What are the biggest challenges to scale it to the next level? And what is the big vision?
Whew.
Yeah. So
Harder, right?
that's a challenging question, but for brevity, I'll try to explain it as best I can. And I'll try to be quickly with it. So the specific steps that I took to launch it, I was able to leverage some of the revenue that I had from the construction business that I had already started to be able to hire developers that could help me build out the first screens of what I wanted my mobile app to look like. That was the most key part, is what they call in the app industry wireframing. So I had to learn how to be able to build, like, when I click what button, what do I want it to do? What I wanted to see. And those people were instrumental, and those were the very, very first steps I took. After that, I just kept learning along the journey of like how to take those screens and write and hire someone to make code that could do what I wanted those screens to do. And then I figured out a way to get them on the App Store. And then my customers told me that this was horrible, and I learned from that, and I bought it back, and I made iterations to that. What is some of the challenges I have? So those are my specific steps. They're the very specific steps I took to launch it. Some of the, massive challenges along the way of building the app. Like, you don't know what you don't know when you're starting something new, and especially when you're building innovative products. But if I'm being honest, the short answer to that is the challenge in Bury is like the one thing, the benefit about growing up in prison as a 15-year-old kid is that I like my stamina, my willpower, my desire to win is like a lot thicker than most, because I'm like, the likelihood of failure is just high in general for anyone, right? But because I failed so horribly as a 15-year-old kid, how much deeper can it be? How hard, like, what's the worst that can happen? The app don't work? Like, dude, I did 8 years in prison. If an app doesn't work, this is a win in life. You know what I mean? Like, I started an app that didn't work. That was a win, right? So the challenge and barriers don't scare me, but there are tons of them, and I could be more micro and tell them to you, but there are tons of them. Follow me and DM me on my Instagram, and I can answer more of those questions. How do I plan on scaling it and growing it? Figuring out a way to build a world-class product that my families absolutely love and adore, and they can send all types of pieces of mail, whether it be Flickshops, letters, greeting cards, however they want to be able to communicate with their loved one without any restriction or barrier, and keep it affordable for my family so that they aren't getting price gouged like these billion-dollar phone companies. That's a win for us. That's how we plan to grow and scale.
Absolutely. Rachel, I know you had a question. Did you want to go ahead and ask that one?
Yes. It says, I may have missed the fork in the road explanation, but what was it that pushed you to the decision to make the choice to temporarily change your trajectory?
Yeah, I wish that I could, talk about the red or blue pill, the thing that changed it, but it really is. I read one time in a book called Good to Great by Jim Collins, and he talked about the flywheel example. And the flywheel is like, every day when you get in front of that flywheel and you twirl it and push it, it starts to turn. And then you twirl and push it, it starts to turn again. And you twirl and push it, it starts to turn again. And you twirl and push it, start again. And every time you twirl and push it, it gets faster and faster and faster and builds up momentum. My life has been a series of twirls and pushes and pushes. I don't know at which stage the flywheel started to really, really speed at a level that allowed me to be able to have some level of autonomy with the flywheel. So I still push it and learn. But during the journey, like, it was like in prison, it was like, I don't know, like Monday turned into Tuesday in there too. You know what I mean? And eventually I had to realize that I was coming home and I was going to have a felony conviction. And my mom that was writing me letters, I was accountable to her. She did send me money for commissary. Like, you going to have to come home and not be a failure, Marcus, right? And I wanted to win, right? I wanted to be a winner. I heard people like Jay-Z talk about I could make 40 off a brick, but one rhyme could beat that. Like, I only knew dudes who had bricks in the hood. You know what I mean? And that was a success if I could be able to get 40, 50, $60,000. This man came on the radio and said I could make 40 off a brick, but one rhyme could beat that. I'm like, oh, they doing it wrong. And he ain't got to look over his shoulder. Oh, they really doing it wrong. I could be successful. I could be someone. And I didn't have to go the traditional path that other successful people in front of me did. And they gave me permission to go out and come home and succeed. I'm still turning that flywheel. I'll let you know how it goes, though.
All right.
So we do have a few more. One is, are you partnered with Prison Fellowship?
I freaking love Prison Fellowship. OM goodness. Like, I love Prison Fellowship so much. Prison Fellowship is awesome. Actually, we actually had an incredible partnership last year together where we worked with Prison Fellowship and we gave, I think it was like 25,000 Flick Shop credits to families all around the country for Mother's Day and Father's Day. And so that all of the moms and all of these women facilities could receive postcards for free. With knowing that women have the fastest growing population in some of these prisons. And there's not enough attention that goes into the women that are powering through to try to overcome a lot of the adversities that they have to face when they come home. It's a much different level of a higher level of collateral consequences that come as a result of a woman coming home from prison than even men. And so we were grateful to be able to have that partnership that was transformative to so many lives. Prison Fellowship is incredible. I'm grateful to be a part of their network.
All right. I have another question. It says, this is definitely inspiration that the brother got from behind the confinements physically and lived his life. But I saw a lot of backdrops of St. Louis art. So what can we say I'm going to be done about the brothers that are locked up in St. Louis, Missouri and the Justice Center in the city of St. Louis in St. Louis County?
Was that what that was for me?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, so what
That's okay. Do you want to repeat the question, Rachel?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, do you want me to repeat it? Sorry.
Can you repeat it?
Okay.
Yeah. Repeat the question though, because
Yeah.
you know, I want to be thoughtful about, you know, the communities, all the communities that especially the communities that we service. Can you repeat the question one time?
Yeah. This person says, this is definitely inspirational that the brother got from behind the confinements physically and lived his life, but I saw a lot of backdrops of St. Louis Arch. So what can we say I'm going to be done about the brothers that are locked up in St. Louis, Missouri and the Justice Center in the city of St. Louis in St. Louis County?
Okay, yeah. So one of the things that I'm super excited about what the Flick Shop allows us to be able to do is in the tech community. So just to clarify, so my Flick Shop's headquarters are based out of Washington, D.C. But we service communities all around the country. And what I mean when I service communities is that the families that use our technology, that use Flick Shop, they live in my neighborhood and they live in my neighborhood. And one, I want to pause and say thank you so much for acknowledging me, like me coming home and doing something positive along this journey. I'm super grateful for that. So my bad for not acknowledging that initially. But like if they coming home, you know, my neighborhood and your neighborhood. So I'm being very thoughtful about a couple of things. One, how am I servicing those communities and partnering with and building collaborations with the networks of folks who are in all of these kinds of communities, including in St. Louis? So like when I think about how we and then what those partnerships look like, those partnerships allow me to be able to bring some of our corporate partners and say, we have major corporate partners or sponsors that allow us to be able to do some type of engagement like the one we did with Prison Fellowship, where we gave away 25,000 postcards to families so that they can communicate with their loved one. Or maybe there's a program that has some mission alignment with Flick Shop and the Flick Shop School of Business. You can find all that out at flickshop.com. With Flick Shop School of Business, where we're able to partner and give either resources or content or material, or we can be guest speakers or guest lecturers inside of those classrooms. Maybe it looks like some of the times when I go into some of the local jails around the country, or you know, just to be able to either facilitate one of those classes or try to recruit people to come and work in Flick Shop. By the way, for all of those people, if you just came home or if you have a felony conviction on your record and you are inside of the tech spaces, find me, DM me. I want to know about you because we're always hiring people inside of the tech spaces and preferably people with a felony conviction. And so like we're very intentional about doing things like this to be able to add our contribution to the community of trying to bite this massive elephant called mass incarceration that we all want to peel away from.
Such a good
We
answer.
have it was a great answer. We have one more that just asks, why is it called an angel?
Yeah, absolutely. Because we knew, so let me tell you how Flick Shop Angel started. So John Legend was one of our initial investors where he was like, look, you guys, it's hard for people that's coming home from prison that came home and start businesses. So I'm going to launch this new program and I'm going to invest, and I'm going to partner with Bank of America, similar to one of those partnerships I just talked about. Me, John Legend, I'm going to partner with Bank of America and New Profit to find some of the most brilliant entrepreneurs, and we're going to fund them. We're going to give them some cash, and they're going to build this project and allow them to be able to build. They have to have a business that's really growing and scalable to be able to do something. And I'm going to invest in them, to give them some capital to allow them to be able to grow their business. And I'm not going to take any ownership from them. I want them to retain their ownership. Freaking love John Legend for this, right? And so it allowed us to be able to launch this new project while we were building the Flick Shop technology, because this is when we knew that the community wanted to band in because they wanted to follow in John Legend's footsteps and be empathetic. And so because we were laughing about it one day and was like, yo, this dude literally came in and like opened up a whole level of business for us, because his name alone added credibility to our business, that immediately right behind that, we got into a business accelerator where we got another $120,000 investment. Just because John Legend supported us, right? He became the angel for us. And he allowed us to be able to just give away a ton of Flick Shop credits to a whole bunch of families while we were building this technology. And so we were like, who are the other angels out here that want an angel, that different kind of angel investors? These are angel contributors that are going to be able to demonstrably help families directly just because they just love. And so we call them Flick Shop angels.